Hey, it's Aaliyah Nye. This is Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
It's the fastest, most unpredictable speedway on earth.
Iron made this place. Mined, smelted, forged. And every spring, we gather round and celebrate. Iron sharpening iron.
Oh, he gets tattooed!
But in order to take it all home, you need nerves of steel. The big one is back. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Roll Tide and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover. Great to be with you in Tuscaloosa today as we're inside our podcast studio at the Advantage Center inside Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're here because we've been busy in this room this week with two great conversations that'll be coming up on today's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. We'll take a look at what's coming up on the show, plus our headlines for today, thanks to our friends RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive. Coming up, first of all, on the show. First of all, we'll be talking football with new wide receiver for the Crimson Tide, Isaiah Horton, a transfer from the University of Miami. He'll detail his decision to join the Crimson Tide from the Hurricanes and what we can look forward to from this Alabama offense coming up this fall. Then we'll also be joined in this room by Kylie Kvamme of Alabama Gymnastics as we preview what's coming up for Alabama Gymnastics in the NCAA Regionals. Starting today, but Alabama's competition will be coming up tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Coleman Coliseum. Speaking of gymnastics, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Ashley Johnston, a look back to Hey Coach on Monday night as she joined us at Baumhower's Victory Grill to kind of give her thoughts on where Alabama's journey has taken the Crimson Tide to so far this season as they get ready for a regional competition starting this week. Take a look at headlines. First with men's basketball, a great run for Alabama in the NCAA tournament. Last Thursday, a Sweet 16 victory against BYU, 113-88. In that game, a school record and NCAA tournament record, 24 three-pointers made by Alabama in that game. Tremendous offensive performance that propelled Alabama to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, on Saturday, the Crimson Tide fell to the number one seed in that region, the Duke Blue Devils, 85-65, the final score in Newark. So the season comes to a close for the Crimson Tide, but still lots to be proud of. Second straight year reaching at least the Elite Eight after making the Final Four last year. Only the third ever appearance in the Elite Eight in Crimson Tide history. So tip of the cap to Nate Oates, this tremendous senior class. Guys like Mark Sears, Grant Nelson that we've really loved watching over the last few years. What a run for Alabama men's basketball. We can't wait to see what's ahead for Nate Oates and his basketball program. In baseball, Alabama, a winning weekend against a ninth-ranked team in the country. Oklahoma winning 2 out of 3 against the Sooners, so a great home series for the Crimson Tide that has propelled Alabama to a 6-3 mark in SEC play through the first 9 games. On Tuesday, got a little interesting at the end, but a strong start, strong finish. Alabama picked up a 11-9 win over the Samford Bulldogs, and Alabama has not dropped a midweek game so far this season on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night all throughout the year, so that's been really impressive for the Crimson Tide. This weekend's opponent, the Auburn Tigers, just sticking with them for a moment, they lost earlier this week to UAB at home. The Blazers have actually defeated the Auburn Tigers twice this year, so it goes to show how tough it is for Alabama to win midweek contests. And again, Rob Vaughn's team has not lost one all throughout this season. With the wins in SEC play against Oklahoma and even a strong showing against Tennessee and Texas A&M, Crimson Tide now ranked 8th in all major college baseball polls. For the softball team, also a winning weekend at home against the Georgia Bulldogs over the weekend, taking 2 out of 3, and then Tuesday kept it moving with a doubleheader sweep, first against Alabama State, and then in the nightcap against Samford. Now, once again, Alabama softball will be on the road this weekend, taking on a different set of Tigers, the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge. Full radio coverage coming up all across the network from Baton Rouge with Tom Canterbury and Gray Robertson. Alabama ranked number 24 in the nation in the latest polls around college softball. Then to our final look at the headlines around Alabama athletics. The gymnastics team is hosting an NCAA regional coming off that 5th place showing at the SEC Championships in Birmingham. So best of luck to Coach Johnston, who will preview that along with Kylie Kvamme coming up later in the show. Football, we'll be talking about that first with Isaiah Horton. Spring practice has continued here in Tuscaloosa as we get closer and closer to A-Day, which is just over a week away, coming up at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Then in women's basketball, some cool honors for Aaliyah Nye. She is going to San Antonio at the men's Final Four, where they have a slam dunk competition and a three-point contest. That also involves players from women's basketball, and Aaliyah will be representing Alabama in the three-point championship coming up at the Final Four. Zay Green is headed to the other Final Four to play in a women's basketball all-star game coming up down in Tampa over the weekend. So Aaliyah and I, that three-point championship coming up tonight on ESPN. For Zay, her performance in the all-star game down in Tampa will be coming up on Saturday. So check it out. Great postseason honors for Aaliyah Nye, Zay Green, Sarah Ashley Barker, also part of the So You Think You Can Coach program, sponsored by the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. That's a look at our headlines, again presented by RJ Young. We'll start our show today with a football conversation with Isaiah Horton, one of the newcomers to Alabama via the transfer portal this year. He joins us to detail his decision, why he joined the University of Alabama from the University of Miami. Here's our one-on-one conversation with Isaiah Horton. Welcome back to Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. We're glad to welcome you back to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, to the Advantage Center at our podcast studio. I'm Roger Hoover. Now, please be joined by one of the newest Alabama wide receivers, transfer Isaiah Horton from the University of Miami. And Isaiah, first of all, roll tide. Welcome to Alabama.
Thank you.
How have you enjoyed it so far, just these last few weeks, getting to be here in Tuscaloosa, getting to know your teammates, and get spring practice started?
Yeah, being here so far has been great. Getting to know my teammates has been amazing. They're all great guys. Tremendous hard work. They work hard at everything. Mindset's right. And everything's been great so far.
How about the energy at spring practice every day?
Oh, yeah, energy's there. Man, we're competing both sides of the ball. We're getting after it. We're not really, taking no plays off, and we're out there sharpening each other. Iron sharpens iron.
What have you liked about this offense so far, and specifically the role you can have in this offense?
Yeah, this offense is, it's a great offense. It attacks both parts, downfield, running. Our run game's amazing, and just where I fit in it, wherever they need me to fit at, where if that's being a tight end for one play, I'll do that. Blocking whatever they need me at, that's where I feel like I can fit in this offense.
Do you like playing physical if you do slide over to tight end spot, blocking, getting in someone's face like that?
Yeah, if that's what they need me to do, then I'm going to do it, yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So it seems like an offense, even going back to Coach DeBoer's staff's days at Washington, that really favors strong wide receivers. You watched a lot of tape from Washington and Alabama to get familiar with these concepts.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do every film session. We'll go over a play, and then we'll resemblance to, a play either from where Coach Grubb came from, the Seattle Seahawks, or Washington. So, both great players. You get to look at DK and then Rome. So it's great. It's both.
What made those guys so special in that offense at Washington?
They just made plays. When it's time to make those critical moments, those downfield plays, they made them right when the team needed it.
Does it make it feel even more real, your dreams of playing in the NFL, when you are watching NFL tape and you're seeing, okay, I'm running the same routes as all these guys that Coach Grubb had a year ago with Seattle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels so real, but also like I'm prepared. I've been doing it. I'm going into my third year now, fourth year now, and I'm confident. I'm prepared in it, and so yeah, it's just yeah, I'm ready for it.
Are you ready for the spring game? Are you ready for these next couple weeks to go by?
Yes, sir. Not to go by, but yeah. I'm ready for it. Yeah.
And especially to get to play here at Bryant-Denny Stadium in front of the fans with that A-Day coming up. How special is that going to be to play for the first time in front of Alabama fans?
Yeah, it's going to be real special. It's my first time playing in front of them, and I heard the fan base here is crazy. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of support. I've gotten it ever since I've been here. It's been nothing but love from the city, from the fans, and I appreciate it so much. So I'm excited.
Well, let's go back a little bit in your football journey. Of course, now you're at the University of Alabama, but first of all, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
And how'd you grow up watching a lot of football, playing a lot of football? Who were some of your teams? What got you into the sport?
Yeah, so, I grew up playing all kinds of different sports. I was just an athlete. Played football, basketball, baseball, ran track. I did it all at a young age. So every season I'm doing a different sport. So it was really when I got to I would say leaving middle school, going into high school, transitioning into high school, they was like, all right, so you got to narrow it down to a certain sport. And me being young, I'm like, man, I can do it all. I want to do it all. But okay, cool. So I narrowed it down to it was basketball and football in high school. I did baseball my freshman year, but I let that go. I wish I kept it, but it's okay. But so yeah, it was football and basketball, and I ended up getting offers in football first. So I just took that route, getting college paid for, so my parents didn't have to pay for it, and yeah. But I also had a love for the game for football, really, when I was a kid. ever since a kid, I don't know, it was just something about football that I liked way more. And I don't know, and as I kept playing, I just fell in love with the game. And yeah, I love football.
Growing up in Nashville, the Titans your team?
You can say that.
What would you say?
I mean, at a certain point they were, but so I'm not like, I don't want to say I'm a bandwagon, but like I just like to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? I just like to watch the game. I'm not really for who's on. I just like watching the game and learning as much as I can because you know what I'm saying. That's just what I am. So I don't really care who's playing. I mean, I have my player favorites, but a team. So like if we were asked, like, yeah.
Who are some of those favorite players then?
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley. When I was younger, I used to grow up watching him. Julio Jones. When I was younger, I used to grow up watching him. Yeah.
Would you watch a lot of those clips? I mean, you were wide receiver from the start. Any other positions for you?
Nah, that's the thing. So like, man, when I tell you like, I was an athlete. So when I was younger, I was kind of like, I was chubby. I wasn't tall. So like, I started off at O-line. Then I switched to like running back for like a good amount of my youth career. And then like I hit a growth spurt and I got tall. And then like the first receiver, I'm telling you, it was like Calvin Ridley and OBJ. And I just seen that and like, I don't know. It's just like it's really from playing baseball. I was a center fielder. And like every time a ball would be hit out there, I would track it down, bro. And it's like I had a thing with catching. And so and my dad was just like, man, just try receiver, just see how that would fit out. And like I tried it and like the ball was just like a magnet. It was like I'm like wherever the ball was, I could just go get it. And it was just like, yeah. I was like, I like this. And it was fun scoring touchdowns. Like I said, yeah, I like this.
How much pride did you take in kind of learning the route tree and learning everything you had to do on the field?
It's a lot. I took a lot of pride in that. I want to be prepared. So my teammates can trust me, and also my coaches. I want to be prepared on the field, and I just want to be able to play fast, and play dominant, and play physical.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Oakland High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
What were some of your favorite high school football memories?
Winning the state championship twice, back-to-back, undefeated, for sure.
What made those teams special?
Man, that was a brotherhood. Like we really meshed. We really came together. Like. We was really tight, and you know what I'm saying, we all had love for the game, for ball, bro, and we all had a great mindset. We knew what it was. We understood the mission, and we came together, and we got it done as one. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't no hidden agendas. It really wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, everybody trying to do what they want to do. Everybody bought in, and that's what it took. And, yeah, you can see the taste. Like, it was nice.
When you play at a high school like that that's winning state championships, you're going to get a lot of attention. I know your stats probably put up a lot of attention as well. When did you start really starting to feel the buzz that you might have a future in college football and colleges started reaching out about recruiting you?
I'm not gonna lie. I really had people in my ear when I was a kid. I was just that one kid at the park that was just like, all right, who's that kid? Just running all over the place. Not to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what people told me. And you know me, I'm just like, okay, cool. I just love playing the game. It was just fun to me because it was just fun. It's easy, and I'm out there with my boys. But, yeah, I mean, middle school, coming out of middle school, that's when people was like, okay, you can be something for real. You can be something serious. And my guy, Jay Holt, that's my trainer. He the one who took me in, and he the one who really told me that. He was like, all right, like, he helped me. And my Quentin Patton, my other trainer, they both took me. He was like, okay, Zach, you can be something. You can be the best receiver in the country. And we got to work. I like that. That's all I was like, yeah.
You got to work not only on the football field, but how about in the weight room? What kind of advantage did you have in the weight room with those guys?
Yeah, we got in the weight room just as much as we did field work. So, it was a good advantage, you know what I'm saying? Got my body right and everything else.
Made you feel ready for college?
Yeah, for sure.
That's really good. So looking back as well, your first recruitment, so you eventually signed with the University of Miami. I mean, how many schools were you being in touch with? Did you go on a lot of recruiting visits? What made Miami your first right choice?
I mean, what drew me to Miami was just the culture. I kind of wanted a different culture shock. Being from the South, went to Miami. And the history that Miami has, it's a great school as well, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to be a part of that. But, yeah.
That's good. And so you make that decision, you go down there for a program that's starting to build back up in the ACC, and eventually get paired with a really great quarterback, Cam Ward. What made him special?
Just his work ethic and his attention to details with everything. Everything he did was with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't a misstep with him. Everything was professional. You know what I'm saying? To the way he kept everything, you know what I'm saying? Just everything was on point. And so, you know what I'm saying? It carried over to the field to whereas you saw what you saw. Looked like the kid was just out there gaming because he was confident, he was prepared, you know what I'm saying? And that's just who he is.
Yeah, a lot of great moments, and even for you, some good touchdowns this past year. What do you feel like made you more of an option in last season in that Hurricane offense?
You know what I'm saying? Just working in the off season, you know what I'm saying? Coming off my sophomore season, I was like, okay, it's kind of my time. Like, it's kind of my time to step up and fill that role that's missing and be that outside guy. And with Cam coming, me and him we just meshed. Like, as soon as he got there, we meshed, and it just took off from there. You saw it. Yeah.
Really did. Now you had the opportunity to go in the transfer portal. What made Alabama stand out to you?
Just it's Alabama, you know what I'm saying? It's standard college football. All the history that Alabama has, you know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to be a part of something like this, and ever since I've got here, it's like you said, a dream come true. Like, it's everything. To the training, to the, you know what I'm saying, nutrition, equipment, everything is A1, and everybody's respectful with it. Everybody's, you know what I'm saying, everything is just exactly what I thought it would be.
And I imagine one of the first people you heard from when you started getting recruiting Jamarcus Shepard. How special was it to connect with him? What kind of coach is he for you?
He's a great coach. It was really special to connect with him. He's a great guy. He's a great human being. He teaches us just a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just football. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's a great football coach, but what I respect about him is he's a great guy. He teaches us life lessons that's going to carry us for the rest of our life. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate him for that, and I know the rest of the guys do as well, the rest of the team.
What kind of motivator is he?
He's a great motivator. You know, he's honest. He's genuine. You know what I'm saying? You can understand where he comes from. He's real, and he's never going to sugarcoat anything with you, and that's what, you know, that's what you appreciate about him. And he's just a super cool guy. You got to get around him, man. He's always, like, you can't be sad around him. He's cool people. He's great vibes.
Well, he runs a really great wide receiver room. When you got here and you got to realize, okay, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, these guys now get to be my teammates along with everyone else. How special is this wide receiver crew that we have here?
Them guys are amazing. They embrace me with open arms. I appreciate them guys. Those are my guys. Every single last one of them are just, they're exactly what they are. Me and Jerm, we've connected. You know, we connected. We kind of got close. Ryan. Really, all the guys, like, we all we're still building, you know what I'm saying? But we see what we got, and we know we're gonna be nice, and we know we're gonna be special, and we are, like, and so we just gotta keep working. We just gotta keep going, and it's gonna be nice.
Those guys returning. How about Latsier Brooks, another newcomer along with you?
Yeah, he's gonna be nice. He's gonna be one of the ones. Hard worker. Like I said, his mindset, everything's on point. He understands the mission. We all understand the mission. We all understand the goal that's at hand, and we're ready to go get it.
Spring football is all about competition, and it's always, again, Alabama against Alabama. So with that, you get to practice against Alabama's outstanding defensive backs. Who's impressed you in that group you've had to go up against?
Everybody. Every one of them DBs. They give us great work. I can't just name one now. They all nice, and they all give us great work.
All physical, too?
All physical, everything. They're going to be nice. Nice.
Well, your relationship with the quarterback is also extremely important, not just some of the work you guys do on your own, but also in practice. And our fans probably don't realize you've known Ty Simpson for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, that's my guy. He was my 707 quarterback when we was in high school, so we was younger. So, we had that little chemistry. But, that's my guy. It's kind of one of the reasons I came here, too, you know what I'm saying, just to get back with him. He's a stud. He's gonna be one of the ones, and I just believe in him. That's my guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Is he still kind of the same guy you saw years ago in high school football? How's he gotten better as a quarterback since then?
For sure, yeah. I mean, when we was back then, he was, you know what I'm saying, 5-star. He was nice, and then just coming, it's a full circle. You know what I'm saying? Coming back, you know what I'm saying? He graduated, but we're just back together, bro, and you can just feel the chemistry, and it's nice. It's a good feeling.
Obviously, he's in that quarterback room with a lot of experience. How about Austin Mack and then as well Keelan Russell? What are your early impressions of those guys?
Great. They're both doing a great job. They're both competing. They both, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a game with the DBs. I can't just pick one out. They're all doing an incredible job, and they're working hard. And, you know what I'm saying? It means something to them. And, you know what I'm saying? As long as you just see it in each and every one of them. So.
And then not only you got to work with those quarterbacks for spring practice, getting ready for the fall, I understand you had the chance, too, to work out some with Jalen Milroe, especially catch some passes for him on his pro day. What'd you like about getting to meet Jalen for the first time?
Yeah, he's a great guy, humble guy, cool human being. We met for like a couple of days, but he's chill. I enjoyed him. He's cool people.
Was that fun to get to do that in front of all these NFL scouts who, again, hopefully will draft you in a not too distant future, but it's good to show what you can do a little bit this
For
early.
sure, yeah, it was cool. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, again, you've made a home here in Tuscaloosa. You mentioned the reception's been really good. What are you hearing from the Alabama fans, students, when you connect to them about what's coming up for this football team?
Just, you know what I'm saying, it's just a lot of love. Not really, they're just excited to see us play. That's really about it, bro.
Family excited? You're a little closer to home?
Yeah, a little closer home. They're really excited. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a special year coming up. So spring football is going to come to a close with A-Day coming up in just over a week. And then what's the rest of the spring and then the summer look like for you getting ready for fall camp?
Just finish out the spring strong, going into the summer. You know what I'm saying? Not really trying to lack off. So, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it going into fall camp. We just want to be prepared and be the best we can be when fall camp comes.
What's it been like getting to know Coach DeBoer?
He's a great guy. He's a player's coach, man. He's a great leader. He's a great teacher. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great guy, and I appreciate him as well.
You wearing the jersey number 1?
Yes, sir.
Why'd you pick number 1?
I mean, it's number 1. You know what I'm saying? And two, Ryan got 2. So I mean, next one was 1. And yeah, I just wanted to rock 1. I just felt like rocking 1 this year.
Yeah, single-digit number. I mean, that's always coveted,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, that's really good. What else should our fans know about you away from the field? What do you like to do?
Away from the field, I mean, spend time with my friends. We do devotions, Bible devotions, so every Wednesdays. I like music. I enjoy music. What else? Just anything like creative. I'll say that. I'm kind of a creative guy. And like fashion, you know what I'm saying, art, painting, it doesn't matter. Poetry, I just like it. And and that's about it, stuff like that.
Any creative stuff for you in school? What's your major?
I'm a human environmental science major, but not for real. Nothing really. Nah, not for real.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you out on this. Again, you joined the Crimson Tide football team, obviously to take this team to new levels, hopefully a SEC championship, play in the college football playoff, ultimately win a national championship. That's what our fans want as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just what would you tell them about how hard this team is working this spring to get in position for those things in the fall?
Yeah, we're working real hard to get in those positions in the fall. You know what I'm saying? We're taking it very serious. We understand, like I've been saying, we understand what's ahead of us. We understand we have the team to accomplish what we need to accomplish. All we got to do is just keep our head down, grind, and go 1-0 every day. Get 1% better.
We look forward to it. Well, Isaiah Horton, welcome to Alabama. We're glad you're part of the Crimson Tide football family. Just thank you for the time you've given us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Look forward to catching up again down the road. But thank you. Roll Tide.
Thank you.
Alabama racing is back. Don't miss the opportunity to experience the NASCAR Cup Series at Talladega. Witness the return of racing on April 27th and be a part of NASCAR's biggest and baddest track. From the blistering speed on the track to the unparalleled fan access of the Talladega Garage experience, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Tickets are on sale now. Secure your seats today at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Appreciate the insights from Isaiah Horton. Wish him the best of luck coming up in the A-Day game and then everything that's coming up this fall for the Crimson Tide. Right now, it's postseason time for Alabama Gymnastics, and one of the newcomers is preparing for her first performances in NCAA Regionals, Kylie Kvamme, one of the outstanding freshmen on the roster this season for Coach Ashley Johnston. She also joined us here at Saban Field to detail her journey to Alabama from all the way in Seattle, Washington, down here to Tuscaloosa, and talk about her first year with the Crimson Tide. Here's our conversation with Kylie Kvamme. Welcome back to Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Roger Hoover now pleased to be joined by one of our outstanding freshman gymnasts at the University of Alabama, Kylie Kvamme, who is competing well for the Crimson Tide this year. As now you get ready, turn the page on SEC championships. You got to be fired up for NCAA regionals coming up here in Tuscaloosa. But Roll Tide, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Super excited.
How have you enjoyed this freshman year?
I love freshman year so far. Getting to meet all the girls and just making memories on the team has been the best part.
How have you seen this team grow as the season's gone along to
Mm-hmm.
posting higher scores and having better results as time's gone on?
Mm-hmm. I know the coaches have really changed up this year, making everything a little bit harder just so that we get the most out of this year. And I haven't even noticed that there was a change until they really said something about how much different this year has been. And we all handle it really well, and they teach us how to grow and stuff like that. So
What do some of those changes look like?
a lot of the conditioning is harder. Like their standards for when we came back into gym was a lot higher than they were in the past. And well, obviously the freshmen didn't know that because we weren't here the years before, but they didn't seem to be like super changed by that. They just went along with it.
Do you like having that too as a freshman? Now that is the standard you're used to, so that's
Yeah.
going to make things, I imagine, a lot easier in the next few years.
Yeah, it also I like talking to the girls that are going to be coming up next year, so I like to prepare them too. So knowing that it's changed a lot from the past years, I can tell them you never know what could change too. So be ready.
Be ready, and that's what the Crimson Tide will be coming up for regionals coming up
Mhm.
here in Tuscaloosa. How special is it knowing you get another opportunity this week to compete at Coleman Coliseum?
Yeah, it's super exciting. I think, well, there's also no class Friday, so I hope a lot of people come in. But we've told a lot of people to come in, but a lot of our friends can come in and stuff like that, so it'll be really cool.
Have you enjoyed the home atmosphere, especially for some of the big meets where a
Mhm.
lot of people are here?
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's crazy how loud it gets, and we were also second ranked for the SEC and population and stuff coming into the meet, so really cool.
That's really good. It's all been part of a remarkable freshman year for you and this large freshman class as well. Just if you could just tell us how this class has really gone through the transition to collegiate gymnastics together.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix because some of us were level 10 and some of us did do elite, so I like the combination we have added because some of us are super fierce, like Ashley wants us, and then some of us have a lot of that joy, and it makes a good combination when some of us can get on somebody for doing something bad, but also make somebody laugh when they shouldn't be all that frustrated.
And even though you all are freshmen, you start to get to know some of the returning upperclassmen. Do you all feel like just one team now as the season's gone along?
Yeah, we really do. We don't even look at age or class or anything like that or experience in gymnastics. It's really just who has the ideas and who's willing to say them and stuff like that.
Who were some of the leaders that really helped welcome you to this program?
Sorry, who?
Some of the leaders.
I really looked at Gabby Gladio and Lily Hudson. Gabby, I feel like I'm pretty similar to her within like our motivation and stuff like that. So she really helped me just like get into the program and just like let loose and not really be so uptight and worry about what the coaches are thinking because they recruited me. So like she just really knew that there shouldn't be that much stress and stuff like that.
What events have you been competing on this year?
I've been doing vault and beam, but vault more than beam. So
What have you liked about vault this year?
well, I like that it's really fast. There's not much worrying going into it. So and it's just super fun because you just run down the vault runway, land, and then all the team runs up with you. Super fun.
Best adrenaline rush really in gymnastics.
Yeah, it
that
really
sprint.
is. Yeah.
What has been the skill set you've been focusing on in vault?
I do a Utrenko 1.5.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So again, fans have been able to watch you perform all year for Alabama, but we want to know how you got to Alabama. First of all, tell us where you're from.
Yeah. I'm from Seattle, Washington, around that area.
Gymnastics always part of your life?
I've been doing gymnastics since I was about 3. I started in like mommy and me classes.
So your mom helped get you into it?
She was very adamant about me and my brother being in sports. So
That's good. Did she play any sports?
no, she yeah, she actually was born in the Philippines. I mean, there's not that many sports there, but she was telling me that she was always active with like climbing trees or something like that. And I was like, okay, yeah. So she wanted us to be athletic and in shape and stuff.
So that goes right into gymnastics. So you
Yeah.
get in those early classes starting at 3 years old, a lot of tumbling, starting to get some of the fundamentals down.
Yeah.
When did it become just a little bit more than a hobby for you?
Well, when I was really young, around 6, I did ballet and gymnastics, and coaches seemed to see that I was picking things up faster, and my mom wanted me to choose between ballet and gymnastics, and clearly I chose gymnastics. But it started getting really serious when I when I was at a gym and it ended up closing, and they sent me into another gym, and that gym put me in the elite program. But then I ended up moving into a different program because that one, I don't really remember what happened, but I didn't stay there. But then we kind of realized that there was a possibility of me going elite. But once I moved to another gym, they just kept me in level 9. And then I moved up to level 10. And then with my mom being a Philippine citizen, I was able to get my dual citizenship and then compete for the Philippines. So doing elite for the Philippines is probably the best opportunity I've had.
How meaningful was that for you, getting that dual citizenship? And especially, I'm sure your mom, so much pride seeing you be a Philippines national team member.
It's amazing because my family in the Philippines, I've only met them a couple times because it's hard to go over there and things like that. But having them being able to watch me, because it's all over the news there and stuff like that with the gymnastics program they have there, having them have the opportunity to watch me in person and also just like watch me on the news and watch me on TV is so cool because they really can't really watch anything I do here. So
what have been some of the championships you've competed with the Philippines national team?
Yeah, I've only competed a few. I went to Asian Championships in 2023 and then World Championships in 2023. And then hopefully there will be some meets coming up this summer. So
Olympics, certainly a goal.
Yes, that's obviously a goal, but that's super far into the future. I just got to see how the body holds up and things like that.
Well, I'm sure it's helpful as well. You have someone who's not necessarily a teammate this year, but part of the family, the Alabama Gymnastics family, and Luisa Blanco. Have you gotten to pick her brain a lot?
Yeah, I've talked to her about going to the Olympics, and she said it was amazing being there, especially being there for her country. So.
Well, that's really good. So again, you're starting to have all this success at the junior level and getting in towards a high school age. Was college gymnastics always something you were thinking about?
Yeah, obviously when I was really, really young, I didn't really know much about college gymnastics, especially my parents weren't like college fans, you know what I mean? So they were always like NFL, all that thing. So I didn't really know much about college gymnastics, but once I got older, all of my older teammates started going to college and going to like Pac-12 then, but my coaches really didn't know anything about the SEC, so when I came here, they were all in shock. Yeah.
What do you enjoy about the recruiting process? How many schools do you hear from? A lot?
Yeah, I heard from a lot. I was going through an injury at that point, so recruiting was a little bit different, so it was a bit later for me. But I did hear from a lot of schools. I only took 3 official visits, and Bama was my first one, so.
So you make that official visit, you come here to Tuscaloosa. What stood out to you the most about this place?
Probably the team culture and, well, obviously being in the South, it was a whole different community, and I really loved it here.
Oh, that's really good. It starts with the team, coaching staff as well. What was it like getting to know Coach Johnston at first?
They were amazing. I saw how like the drive in Ashley's eyes, but also like the joy that in the playful set that Justin and Meals had, and it just felt like home to me.
Does it help too that she was a gymnast here and won a national championship, has such a great pedigree as a player, but also backs it up with her coaching?
Yeah, it really does, because she just knows exactly what we're thinking and what we're going through, and I think that's just how she helps the best.
So again, you took 3 visits, but eventually when it came to National Signing Day, you wrote down the name Alabama. Is there any one thing you could pinpoint why Alabama stood out among the rest?
I think definitely the coaching staff and the girls had probably the biggest, because when I came here and I asked like, how is there any like problems on the team and stuff like that, they're honestly like, no, like if there is, we solve them. At other schools they said there was, so I was a little bit like, okay. So
So stay away from the drama. We're good teammates here at Alabama.
Yeah, like they just work so well together like a family. So. And
that's really good. So you're able to come here to Tuscaloosa to start your freshman year. How'd this team grow in the fall and really get on the same page getting ready for this year?
We have built a lot of trust in order for us to really solve any conflict or any arguments. And now it's like there's not really any arguments. And if there is, it gets solved in super fast. Like they just nip it in the butt. And a lot of adversity the team has been able to work through and things like that. And it makes everybody grow a lot. So like we had the flu a while ago, and it just seemed like everybody wanted it even like more to win and things like that. So.
Yeah, and then some injuries pop up during the season as well. You love how your teammates encourage each other even when they're going through things like that. Yeah,
seeing a teammate go through an injury and being able to come back mid-season is really crazy, and nobody in the like fans and things like that don't see the work that they've put in. So being able to see someone come back out into the gymnastics is just amazing.
And you mentioned fans don't get to see all the work that goes in. I mean, you practice these routines over and over again during the week, and even Fridays, you know, over and over again in pregame warm-ups, but then it all comes down ultimately to how you perform. Is that why there's such a big burst every time a great routine happens for one of your teammates of excitement? Yeah, honestly, when I see a teammate do something that they constantly do every day in practice, I think I have more joy than they do for themselves, because you see how much work and frustration and sweat they've put in, and them being able to finally pull that out onto the floor is just amazing. I asked you earlier about competing at home here in Tuscaloosa at Coleman Coliseum, where all the fans are on your side, rooting for you. It's a little bit different sometimes going on the road in SEC play. How was it navigating those tough road environments in the conference? Ashley prepared us so well. I mean, we did insane sets in the gym, like completely silent, as much noise as we could. She's put things on the line, like coming back after practice to redo it, or moving practice like an hour early or anything like that. And it just made the pressure so much different. So like when I went there, it honestly wasn't as bad as I thought. I was expecting a lot worse. So once I got there, I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. And then, too, you guys have gone through so many different events. You know, you've had the head-to-head matchups, and especially in conference play. But then, like we just saw, Elevate the Stage and the quad meet in St. Louis as well. Do you like that you've had all these experiences to get ready for the postseason? Yeah, I really do. I like that we've started on every event. So, like, whatever happens, if we start on a different event, we'll be ready for it. Started to have some wins down the stretch of the season. What was the mindset going into SEC championships? Just give everything you got. Don't change anything. Don't change your approach. Do what you know how to do and just be aggressive. What are you most proud of from that night? I think I'm probably most proud of the team just being able to stay locked in. Like, I really don't think anyone slipped away for a second into their own brain or what was going on around them. Everyone just stayed all together, and it just made us continue and stuff like that. Well, staying together is really important for a team like this. We've heard before spike ball is a huge deal. Is that still one of the most popular games among your teammates, or have you started some new traditions? When I first got here, spike ball was huge, and I'm pretty sure somebody rolled their ankle. So we have not been playing that as much, especially being in postseason, but I will not doubt that it comes back right after season when we have nothing to do. So anything else fun, like especially on the road or anything like that you guys do to stay loose? Well, when we've traveled to colder climates and there's been snow, we've definitely got into snowball fights, and the coaches get really angry because we bring them onto the bus and stuff like that. We've also, during Thanksgiving, we played a little bit of like football, but not really, you know what I mean? And that's honestly really fun. So. Oh, that's good. Well, how much have you enjoyed being a student athlete here at Alabama, getting to know some student athletes from other sports? Yeah, it's been really fun, especially just like being able to like meet them and then see them like actually play is really cool. You've been able to go to a lot of football games or men's and women's basketball games, soccer games, things like that? Yeah, I've been to football games, soccer games, baseball. Super cool. You mentioned your family is mostly NFL. Are they now all in on Crimson Tide football? Yeah, my dad was a huge Dallas fan. So he knew about Nick Saban, and he was excited and being like, Alabama's really cool. Like, I think you should check it out. And then he actually really loved it. So it was nice. That's good. What's been your focus in the classroom? It's actually funny. I already switched my major in my freshman year. That happens. That's good. Yeah. I started out as a kinesiology major, and I was in biology, and I did not like it at all. So I ended up switching to business marketing. So I'm planning on staying in business marketing, I hope, and moving in towards like I've been thinking about what's it called? Housing and things like that, like realtors and things like that, and then also working for the Philippines Gymnastics Commission. That's really special. Yeah. So again, hopefully a great, strong finish coming up this spring. What's the summer going to look like for you before you begin your sophomore year next year? I will be staying here. For most of summer, obviously I'll go home and see my family and things like that. But
there's possibilities of me competing for the Philippines and like Korea. So.
Well, that's an awesome opportunity. Well, best of luck
Yeah.
coming up with all that. Before we let you go, just what message would you give to the fans before they come back to Coleman Coliseum this weekend, watch you all perform? What do you hope they get to see?
I hope they see us dominate and take charge, and I also hope they see how much work has been put in to also even just getting them there to be put in regionals and be in that seat to actually go to nationals and things like that.
Is there a lot of motivation, too, just to give these seniors kind of the send-off they deserve?
Yes.
We've had senior night already, but this is truly when it gets towards the end of the year. You never know what could be the last meet.
Yeah, really. I've said it over and over, but I don't want it to be Lily's last vault. I need her to stick it one more time, and hopefully they give that 10 to her. So
we'd love to see it. Well, Kylie Kvamme, you're off to a great start in your Alabama career. Just thank you for all the time you've given us, and best of luck coming up in the postseason. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Iron made this place. But in order to take it all home, you need nerves of steel. The big one is back. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Best of luck to Kylie Kvamme coming up at NCAA Regionals, and that was the conversation during Monday's edition of Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance at Baumhauer's here in Tuscaloosa. Ashley Johnston joined us first to begin the show, talking about everything she has seen from the Crimson Tide through the ups and downs that this regular season has brought to the fifth place finish at the SEC Championships. Here's a look back at our conversation with Ashley Johnston as we get ready for the NCAA Regionals. Getting ready for the calendar to go from March to April, and that means it's time for the NCAA Regional.
Gosh, I just can't believe it. I feel like it was just yesterday. We were talking about kicking off the season. We were looking at a home schedule that was going to be stacked and a away schedule that was going to be stacked, and it definitely lived up to that, that's for sure. But we're really excited about where we're at. I think we're peaking at a really amazing time. Just came off of a great showing at SECs where this team really dug in and made a really strong statement that they truly are one of the best teams in the country. And so it's a great confidence builder as we go into what is always an intense week. But we don't want to make it more than it is. It's a regional championship, but it's just another opportunity to step into it, give it our best, and let the chips fall where they're going to fall.
We're excited for what's coming up later this week. And again, if this has been such a long process trying to build, what was the focus for your group in the fall getting ready for this season?
You know, all fall long, we really looked at our culture, and we really looked at what were the critical difference makers that were going to help us have an edge. And in the moments that it mattered the most, where it was intensity or pressure or found yourself in a hard place, we wanted to make sure that our culture was in a place where it would be our performance enhancer. And I'm so thankful that we have a group that really dug into that and did the hard work along the way, because that's exactly where we found ourselves. We found ourselves having, you know, some really strong highlight moments throughout the season, but we also found ourselves having some really tough moments, moments where we had a young group that was learning and trying to figure out how to overcome some really difficult situations and environments. And I truly believe it was because of our culture that we were able to battle through those things, and we were able to fight and be gritty and just ignite that fire from within, that nothing was going to stop them. And there's not a lot of people that can do that. You know, there's a lot of haters, there's a lot of outside noise, there's a lot of people with opinions about how you should do things, how you should be able to rise in those pressure moments. And I don't know how many people have tried to balance on a 4-inch beam, but it's really tough to do when you have 15,000 people watching, let alone a whole world of expectation and fans that want to see you succeed in those moments. And our team wants that more than anybody that has an opinion. And so we kind of hit a point in the season where they were sort of like enough is enough. And we're going to decide that we're not going to pay attention to those things. We're truly just looking at what can our group control? How do we just put our head down, work, do the tough stuff to figure out how to overcome those things. And I just think it says a lot about their character, their commitment to excellence, and how they connected as a group and really used their culture as a performance enhancer.
Just building momentum all throughout the season. You mentioned the balance beam, just gaining consistency there. How important has that been for your team?
You know, consistency across all events is such a critical part of it. You know, in basketball, you've got free throws, and that's always that pressure cooker moment, right, where you got to make the shot. But the difference in gymnastics is that if you miss it, you lose points, right? In another sport, you're just gaining points, or it's neutral. In gymnastics, you're actually losing points if you're not able to step up in some of those pressure-filled moments. And so we train for that all the time. We mimic scenarios. We look at how do we build consistency, how do we build scoring scoring potential, and how are we going to be adaptable so that no matter what situation we find ourselves, our team is ready to step in and thrive. And, you know, we had a young team to start this season, and so you don't gain experience to become clutch until you're thrown into the toughest of environments and you figure out how to be clutch. And it's been really cool to see breakthrough after breakthrough from freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, and super seniors. I just, you know, as we talk amongst our group, I think every single athlete has said, I have never learned as much as I've learned this year. And as a coach, that's so cool because, yes, we're training them to win championships during their 4 years here, but we're also training them to be champions of life and how to carry those real-life tools outside of the sport. And, again, I'm just really proud of how they've dug in, fought, done the hard work to really put themselves in an exciting position in where we're at right now.
And especially for this freshman class, I remember talking to you getting ready for the North Carolina meet to begin the season. You were so excited to see them debut, get their first taste of college gymnastics. Where is that group now as you get ready for the postseason?
Yeah, I feel like our freshman group are veterans now. I mean, again, I think they have been thrown into a lot of situations that they never saw coming. And I think back to one specific example, Kylie Kvamme on our team. I think we were competing at Kentucky maybe, and I remember her looking at me and she was like, I've never been this nervous. And I thought it was so cool and just spoke volumes about her trust with us as her coaches, her trust within our team to be able to be vulnerable and authentic of like, wow, this is different than what I'm used to. And she's right. It is different than what you're used to as a gymnast coming up in more of an individual-based sport. And then you join a team, not just any old team, but Alabama, who has such a rich history and a legacy of excellence. And you've got to learn how to put those things aside and just focus on what you do best, which is staying in the process. It's one more beam routine. They've been doing this stuff since they were 3 years old. And it's all about managing your mind at a high level so that your body can just be free to do its thing.
So we get ready for regionals coming up later this week. First of all, Coach, let's take a look back to the SEC championships. What made that a solid Saturday in Birmingham?
You know, I think what made it so solid was that our team literally ignored every other team in the room. And I mean that in the best way. We just went in focusing on how can we make a statement? How can we transfer what we've been doing in practice onto the competition floor? And that was just by not paying attention to anything else going on in the building and just going in there, making a statement, having strong energy, strong performances, building momentum, and really focusing on whether it was an individual performance or the team connection on the outside in the corral. We wanted to keep leveling up routine by routine, just continue to build momentum, and they carried that through the entire meet, had incredible focused endurance in bringing just high energy, and just really proud of how they were able to make a statement, prove that they're so talented, they're one of the best teams, and they just needed a little bit more time to kind of put those pieces together.
How do you continue that momentum now getting ready for NCAA regionals? Again, just focusing on Alabama, I believe, is where it has to start for your group.
It absolutely does. We can't treat this meet like it's anything different. It has a different name to it, but every single meet so far, we have battled with the top teams in the country. And so this is no different. The only difference for us is that we have so much more experience in being able to actually win that battle. And I really do believe in the tools and the skills and the prep that this team has done. They've done the work to be able to handle any and all environments. They've really refined their mental performance plan, meaning how are they able to bring their A game in the toughest of environments, adapt and conquer. And so they've done the work. It hasn't been an easy process, but I think they're one of the most prepared teams because they've had to go through the hardest challenges along the way.
So it is certainly a challenge anytime you get to the postseason. What's the format going to be coming up for our fans that are coming in these next few days?
Yeah, so we start with a round of 36. So that happens on Thursday. So there's going to be a play-in round. It's round one. And so anybody that's here, I'd encourage you to go out there and watch on Thursday. We will actually get a bye from that competition. We're very thankful for that. But it's still going to be two great teams that are matching up. So I encourage you to go out and watch. And then we'll start our competition Friday at 1 o'clock. So I'm inviting everybody to come to Coleman Coliseum Friday at 1 o'clock. Students are going to get in free. Great opportunity. There's no classes that day, so why not, you know? And so Friday at 1 o'clock, that's where the round of 32 happens. So we'll have a competition with 4 teams. And we get kind of an opportunity for revenge. We have UNC, we have Iowa, and we have Cal. And so we have faced each of them at some point during our season, and so we're excited to get to go head-to-head with them again. And then there's a night session with another 4 teams, and they're another strong competition. So, again, I encourage you to come on out for both competitions. It's going to be a great meet. And then from that point, you're trying to win or be in the top 2. And those top 2 teams qualify on to Sunday's competition, which is like the Sweet 16. And Sunday's competition, Sweet 16, you want to qualify in the top 2 from there to make it on to Elite 8, which will be in Fort Worth in a couple weeks.
Certainly look forward to all of that coming up for Alabama Gymnastics. Again, the home atmosphere is so critical. How much of an advantage is it to be able to host a regional setting like this?
Oh, it's incredible for us to be able to host. It's really just being able to take our familiar approach. It's our home arena. We know the equipment. We know the sights and sounds. We know the fans. We know the intros. So much of that is familiar to us. It's what we've been practicing all year long. And so it allows us to just really stay present. We don't have to adjust to as many variables that we would have to at an away meet. We know the crowd is in our favor. And so that's exciting for us. It's just an opportunity to show up, make our community proud, compete big, and just give it our best.
Hey, I'm Chris Youngblood, and you're watching a Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR.
There is nothing like Sweet Home Talladega. Don't miss out on NASCAR's return to Talladega Superspeedway on April 27th for the Jack Links 500. This is more than racing. This is Talladega. Purchase your tickets today at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Best of luck to Coach Johnston and the Crimson Tide gymnastics team moving on hopefully towards the NCAA championships coming up in Fort Worth. Speaking of time on the road, a lot of time on the road coming up for baseball and softball this weekend. Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule across the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Well, first of all, the baseball team will go down to Auburn to take on the Auburn Tigers at 6 p.m. on Friday, 7 o'clock on Saturday, and then 2 p.m. on Sunday. We'll have full radio coverage 15 minutes prior to first pitch for not just baseball, but also softball on the road at LSU. 6 p.m. start times coming up on Friday and as well as Saturday, and then Sunday will be a little bit later of a start time at 4 o'clock from Baton Rouge. Don't forget a new episode of Tide TV this week. We'll go to our TV affiliates across the state and RolledTide.com coming up tomorrow, and then back at Hey Coach coming up on Monday to hopefully preview what's coming up for Alabama football in the A-Day game coming up on April 12th. It's April here in Tuscaloosa, and we have a lot of things underway. So to follow everything, make sure you follow us at UA_CTSN on all social media platforms. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the very latest on the Crimson Tide, again at UA_CTSN. That's going to wrap up this busy edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Huge thank you to our guest, Ashley Johnston, who joined us at Baumhower's earlier this week for Hey Coach, plus the guests that we've had in this room, Isaiah Horton of Alabama football, as well as Kylie Kvamme from the Alabama gymnastics team. Best of luck to them for Kylie coming up this week in NCAA Regionals, and to Isaiah finishing spring practice the right way for Coach DeBoer and the Crimson Tide. Thank you as well to Lexi Graber from our NIL office for setting up these interviews that we've had, as well as Ethan Carabin, our video producer, has not only produced all these interviews you've seen, but stitched together the entire show for you on this Thursday afternoon. We thank Ethan for all of his fine work as well. For everybody with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, this is Roger Hoover saying thank you for watching this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Now let's hope for a winning weekend for Alabama, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday at 2 p.m. Until then, roll Tide, everyone.